Hello guys, welcome back to another screencast. In this one, you will be learning about exponents and the order of operation. Now the objectives is to use exponents and to simplify expressions with exponents, which is where we will be using the order of operations. Why do we need to learn this? Now, exponents are used to represent numbers. You need exponents to write large numbers like the number of stars in a galaxy. Here's an example. You can write 625 as a product of factors. Now remember, factors are the numbers that we multiply. 625 is equal to 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. We can write them with factors of 5s. The number 5 is used as a factor 4 times, and this is where exponents come in. Now, what are exponents? The exponents tell you how many times a number is used as a factor. Like we saw on 625, we broke it down into, we expanded it by using 5 as a factor 4 times. Word we need to know is base. What is a base? The base is the number that is being used as a factor. 5 in the previous example was the base because we use that as a factor. How many times did we use it? 4 times. So let's do some examples. So here from the previous example, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. This is in expanded form. And this expanded form, do we really want to write this long expression? No. We can also write it as a power, which will be 5 to the 4th power. Why are we using 5? 5 is the base, and remember 4, the exponents, tell us how many times we use that 5. So we use 5 4 times, so we will raise it to the 4th power. Okay, so here it is. So this will be 5 to the 4th power. Now, what is a power? A power is a number that can be expressed using an exponent. So this right here, we just write it in exponential form. Okay, so this right here was the expanded form, and this one here will be the exponential form using the powers. Okay. Now, when we use an exponent, for example, we have go ahead and do, let's do this one together. Write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 using an exponent, which means to write it in exponential form. We need to name the base and the exponent. So, let's go. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this. Here's black. So here we are going to write this using an exponent. What is the base? Remember, the base is the number, is the factor, okay, that is being repeated, that we are using. In this case, our factors is 3, so the base will be 3. And what is the exponent? How many times are we using 3? So that will be the power. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 3 to the 4th power. Okay, so in this case, the base will be 3, and the exponent will be 4. Alright, so go ahead and try these, and then come back, pause, and then come back and get the answers. Alright, welcome back. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Here we have 3 and 94 hundredths times 3 and 94 hundredths. In exponential form, that will be 3.94. 3.94 to the 2nd power. That woke you up, right? Okay, and number 2, we have 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. 7 to the 4th power. Again, 7 is the base, the factor that we are using, and 4 is how many times we are using that factor. And 3. Now, just because those are variables, do not freak out. Oh my god, x's. Okay, it's the same as regular number. How many? And here's the answer. Okay, so x again is the base. How many times did we use base x as a factor? 3 times. Moving on. So here's an example. So here we have a cabinet. Okay, some kind of bookshelf that is 3 by 3. And to find the area of this bookshelf, we can say the area of the square is 3 by 3, or we can also say it in exponential form, 3 squared. Okay, so we will read this as 3 squared. Okay, and here's another one. So here we have a cube. Remember, cube is 3D. So here we have the cube is 4 by 4 by 4, the length, the width, and the height. And we read this as, to find the volume of the cube, 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 cubed. Whenever we see the little 3, we read it as 4 cubed. And whenever we see the little 2 on top as the power, we say 3 square. Okay, now how do we read the powers? Here are some examples. This will be 3 squared, 4 cubed, 5 to the 4th power, 6 to the 5th power, and 7 to the 6th power. But these two we could say 3 to the 2nd power or 4 to the 3rd power, but we like to use these to specify is 3 squared and 4 cubed. Now, how do we simplify the powers? For example, in science, you have 2 to the 5th bones in your hand and arm. What is the value of 2 to the 5th? So to simplify this, to get the actual value, we need to expand this. So first, this is the exponential form, so we need to expand it. So we will do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Once again, my base is 2. How many times am I going to use 2? 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you could grab your calculator and just plug everything in, 2 times 2 times 2, but that can be a little confusing. You need to be very careful because sometimes you will lose track of how many times you put in the number. So the best thing I would suggest you do is to go ahead and simplify them before we use the calculator. So we know this is 2 times 2. We know this is 4. This is 4 times 2. So 4 times 4 is 16 times 2, and we get 32. Actually, for this one, we didn't even really have to use the calculator. But if you wanted to use the calculator, I would say to do it like at this step, after you kind of simplify the expression. Okay, here's another example. Phobos, the largest of Mars's moon, has a diameter of 3 cube kilometers. What is the value of 3 cube? So this will be 3 times 3 times 3. Remember, this is not 3 cube is not equal to 3 times 3, which is most likely what some people do. They just multiply this. No, 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 no. It's 3 times. So here we will do 3 times 3 we know is 9 times 3, 27. Very easy to evaluate, to get the value. Okay, so now let's move on to the order of operations. So I know this is a review of 4th grade, but some people still get it confused, so let's get it right this time. Alright, first thing we need to do is the parentheses, if there are any. Then we do the exponents if there are any. Then we need to multiply and divide from left to right. This is where people start getting things confused. Once again, we multiply and divide left to right. And then we add and subtract left to right. Whichever one come up first for 3 and 4. Whichever come first, that's the one we do. If division come first, we need to divide before we multiply. If subtraction come first, we need to subtract before we add. Okay, let's do an example. So here we have 3 times the value of 7 squared plus 18 divided by 2. So here we have 3 staying times, then we need to make sure that we are working the parentheses. We have 3 times 7 squared. So we are working, simplifying the parentheses first, but we still have to follow the order of operation within the parentheses. So 7 squared has to be done first. That would be 49. Not 7 times 2, 7 times 7 plus 18 divided by 2. So we did the exponents, so let's move on. 49 will stay because that's plus. Then we need to make sure we do the division. 18 divided by 2, which will be 9. Okay? Now we are ready to simplify the parentheses. 3, and we do 3 times 49 plus 9, which is 58. And now we can grab a calculator and do 58 times 3. And we get 174. Okay, so please do as much as you can mentally before grabbing that calculator. So once again, if you have any questions, please rewind this so you can see how it was done. Okay, so here are some for you to do by yourselves. Okay, so go ahead and try this one and then come back to get the answer. Alright, welcome back. Let's take a look here. We have parentheses and exponents. So we must do the parentheses first. So 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 to the second power. And now we are ready to do the exponent. 3 squared will be 9. And then we add 5 plus 9, which is 14. Okay, so here is our answer. Okay, there's one more for you guys to try. Let me erase these. Alright, go ahead and try that one while I erase this. Okay, remember to pause and then come back to get the answer. So here we have 2 cubed minus 6 divided by 3. So first thing we must do is parentheses, then exponents. Now here I'm going to do the parentheses and the exponents at the same time. So 2 to the third power. Remember, 2 cubed is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2 one more time will be 8, minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 8 minus 2, we get 6. And there it is. Okay, well that was it for today. This game we will be playing it in class. If everybody understands how to use the exponents and you're not so hopefully everybody study. Please remember to post your questions on Edmodo so that I can help you along the way, and post your questions again to the whole class. Do not just send them to me, so that your classmates can also help you. That's it for today. Have a great one. Bye.